this new wealth to Britain, the Home Office is fast tracking more residency visas for Chinese millionaires than any other nationality.
I think the Chinese don't particularly like caviar. So that's another challenge, really. That's all I'm pursuing.
I'm quite a slow learner. I think I've picked it up quite quickly, but I think that has got a lot to do with the fact that I'm learning from the best, so that helps.
Van, worth over £67,000. This brand new 2026 model comfortably sleeps four with its pop-up bunks and comes complete with kitchen, bathroom and spacious living area.
Different abilities to detect different smell molecules, but we thought the different receptor cells were distributed pretty much randomly across the nasal space. And what this study shows is that it's completely not the case, and much like many other sensory systems, these cells are really, really tightly organized, and it's really exciting.
And what does it tell us about smell more broadly? Presumably that we all, this is going to sound like such a silly question, that we all smell not in the same way, but something will smell the same to all of us, if that makes sense. That consistency means that we will all smell it the same way.
Not necessarily. It's an interesting question. I mean, there's a lot of variability between people. There's a consistency in this level of organization, but there's also variability in terms of how people perceive smell. Certain people can detect certain smells that other people can't. So there's still that inter-person variability there. But what this tells us is that in general, the variability is much, much lower than we thought it was.
That's interesting. And presumably the same for humans as for mice, for other animals as well?
We're presuming so. So that hasn't been shown, and that's obviously a next target for the researchers to take this and move it forward, and try and see whether it's the same in humans as well. But these early stages of the smell system tend to be very, very similar in mice and humans. So I'd be surprised if it wasn't the case in us.
It must be. It's an enormously complex thing to try and do to map the nose of a mouse.
It's really very, very complicated. You've got thousands and thousands of different types of cells, and you're faced with this very intricate anatomy. I mean, if you've seen any of the pictures that accompany the articles, it's this beautiful structure with lots of whorls and different kind of tunnels in the nose. So you've got to try and figure all of that out in 3D and access all the different kind of genetic coding information of all the cells at the same time and put those two things together, which is what these teams have been able to do so well.
And as you say, there are still things that we don't know quite yet. What would you really like to know or understand about the way our sense of smell works?
I think based on this study, I think I'd like to know what it is about the smell signals that is being organized so well and so intricately in space. So we know that the cells themselves are really tightly organized and very, very specific. What we don't know yet is exactly what that means for how different bits of the nose detect different smells and how that signal is then processed in the brain. So that's the next thing to figure out.
I see what you mean, because presumably the structure of whatever we smell remains the same. It's just, as you were saying earlier, it's just our interpretation of it that changes.
That's completely true, yes. Molecules in the air, that's what we detect. And then our nervous system interprets that to come up with a perception.
Okay. It must be just the most fascinating job, to take something that's so, it feels, smell, because you can't see it, it feels so intangible, doesn't it, really? And for you to sort of spend your time exploring this and finding out new things like this, new discoveries, it just must be a fascinating job.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Professor Matt Grubb, really good to talk to you. Thank you so much, Professor Matt Grubb, who's an expert on the neuroscience of smell at King's College London.
And that brings us to 3 minutes to 7. Next week, Radio 4 will be learning about how the anteater power pose looks.
Eaters get getting older. Is that a good thing? They've got experience. But look at that man there. He looks...
In recent years, the United States has seen an influx of older politicians, with both Joe Biden and Donald Trump inaugurated at 78.
But on my podcast, Chopper's Political Podcast, the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage, has indicated...
£1,000 in
Tax-free cash to spend on anything you like this year. Make sure you get your entry in as lines
close at 4 p.m. today for another chance to win.
Won't be able to evict their tenants without a valid reason, and they must also reasonably consider renters' requests to live with pets. The changes will impact 11 million private tenants and 2.5 million landlords across England.
Joining us now is the founder of Landlord Action, Paul Champlina. Paul, thank you for joining us. It's a big day. Now, anecdotally, we're hearing, or we're seeing reports, aren't we, of private landlords leaving the market. Are you hearing the same thing?
100%, Chris. I've been running Landlord Action for 26 years. It's totally unprecedented that we've come, because we stopped taking instructions last Wednesday. I was worried about this 5-6 years ago when I went to my local MP, Theresa Villiers at the time, about a rental stock crisis and the problems of the courts, because they haven't been.
Now, on security, we've worked very closely with the Community Security Trust, made additional investment. We've also provided money for tackling anti-Semitism in education, tackling it in schools, in colleges and on campuses.
And only just this week, we've updated our laws to give police additional powers for where there are repeat protests, or indeed there are protests preventing
people from going to their places of worship. But it is also, I entirely agree, about society as a whole as well. And
But it's about individual elements on these marches. I mean, to the general public, it looks like you spent an awful lot of time arresting grannies with placards saying Palestine action, and not enough time putting...
all of us, including the Jewish community. So it's not about that. It is about targeting the extremists.
Lord Mann told me that the NHS needed to be cleansed, as he put it, of people wearing pro-Palestinian political badges.
Regardless of their politics and their political views, if you want to go be pro this, pro that, anti this, do it in your own time. Don't take it to work, and don't take it to the patients in the NHS, whoever they are. I want the situation where Jewish patients, like every other patient, can go anywhere in the NHS and feel that they are equal and they are comfortable in the high quality treatment that they're getting.
Lord Mann there, John Mann. Now, let's first of all say hello to Matt Datham, the Home Affairs editor at The Times. Hello to you, Matt.
Good afternoon.
Welcome, Matt. Thanks for joining us. Can you first of all give us the...